Hey everybody, it's Tanya here with Get Noticed with Video and Stream Like a Boss TV. I just want to welcome you into 2022. It is the very first broadcast that we've done in this year. So I'm super excited and thrilled that I get a chance to be here with you. Tonight we're going to talk about a topic that has been, I'll say it's been a common one. It's been a common question that I've gotten in the circles that I play in. The question is around live stream audience engagement. Like, what does that mean? What does it look like? What are some of the myths and things that people tell you that aren't true? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Myths around live stream audience engagement. A lot of folks are, I think, concerned when they actually start doing lives because you're worried that you won't have people that are participating and interacting. You feel like if I get myself on video, if I'm on camera, somehow I'm just going to end up talking to dead space. Like nobody's going to be there on the other side of the screen. And I get it. It's a bit scary when you feel like you're talking to yourself and you have yet to build an audience and there's not a lot of people watching. I know it can feel quite lonely and almost like, what is the point? So, I want to talk a little bit about some of the myths around audience engagement. And before I do that, I need to acknowledge the folks that are coming in and just tell you I'm so happy that you're here and that you get a chance to connect and to engage tonight with me. I am watching the chat, I'm watching the comments to make sure that I acknowledge you. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. I also want to definitely address those of you who have been with me for some time. So if you've been watching, I've been on live stream typically weekly for almost 3 years now, which is crazy because time has flown. And so Michelle knew exactly what to do. Yes, if you have been here for a while, if you've been watching me on live stream, no matter what the channel, I want you to type in hashtag OG. And I also want to wish you a happy new year as well, Michelle O'Neill. And then I see my buddy, Philly Cable, Dave in the house. Let me show you on screen as well. I am doing wonderfully. It is a brilliantly bright new year. I am excited about what's to come. I see some more OGs. Now, if you're not someone who's been around for a while, if this is your first time watching or you've only been here maybe once or twice and you still feel a little bit new, type in hashtag newbie because I want to acknowledge you as well. And I do like to do this at the very beginning of each of my live streams because it's important to me to let you know that I'm here for you and that we're connecting in a conversation. This is not just me being on a video or on a talking head, if you will, on TV. It's really about helping you to leverage more live stream content so that you too can serve more people, sell more of your services, and stand out online. That's what I love to empower coaches, consultants, and course creators to do. And so, how can I do that if I'm not really like interacting with you and you feel like I'm just talking at you? And that's part of the reason why I felt like this topic was going to be really relevant. Not only did I find this to be relevant personally, but I also reached out to my Stream Bosses Academy members. Woot woot for those of you who are here and watching. Um, Stream Bosses Academy has been just such a blessing to me. We launched it last year. A group of mostly women, it is all women at this point, who have been learning with me about using live stream and on camera video and creating amazing content. So I reached out and I asked you all in the academy what would be a preferred topic to start off the year. And I gave them a couple of choices. And this one, this idea of engagement rose to the top. And I do believe there's a reason for that. And part of that reason is that I think all of us want to make sure that if we're doing video, especially if we're doing on-camera content, one of the most relevant benefits to doing on-camera content and video with your face on screen is what I'm talking about, is that you get a chance to really have conversation, that you're interacting with people on a deeper level. It's not just you spouting information or selling, but it's you creating a network, creating a community, and building relationships. And that's one of the things that I love the most, honestly, about being on video. So I want to say Happy New Year as well, really quick here to David. And Can I Coach is an OG in the house as well. So, yeah, I've got a lot of folks who are return um, guests. And you're my family. Like we've become family over time. And this is, again, one of the reasons why engagement is such an important topic. So I want to dive in and I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you really want to kind of think about. And I have 3 myths that I want to bust when it comes to engagement. Now, I will tell you, I have a little bit of a cough because I'm on the tail end of the big C. Yes, y'all, it hit us when we least expected it with a 1-2 punch, knocked out my entire family for a bit, but we're all doing well. I hope and I pray that you and your family are doing well too. It's been a crazy ride, but you know what? We are blessed and highly favored. And my wish for you, my hope for you, my prayer for you is that you feel that way too. I feel that there is a circle of abundance and nothing but good things that we have to look forward to, no matter in the face of crisis and other things that may be going on. I hope that you will remain positive and stay focused on the prize. Okay. And ultimately, that's what video is going to do for us in 2022 is it's going to get us to where we want to go. Most of us as entrepreneurs have found that being able to find ways to get creative about creating those connections and building that engagement with people even when you're not face to face, that creates the winning combination for you and for your business to be sustainable, especially in these times. So I really want you to hear my heart on that this is one of the reasons why I'm really promoting video. So let's talk about the myths. I want to dive into that, and I'm seeing other folks that are popping in too. So thank you and Happy New Year to you as well. Okay, a couple of really quick things. Before I do this, before I go into 3 myths, I do want to mention one thing because I don't want to forget this. We are right on the cusp of getting ready to um, engage in the Expand Your Reach conference. So there's an Expand Your Reach conference, which is a video centered conference. It's a video centered summit that's going to be taking place virtually January 12th through the 14th. I do not want you to miss that. And so what I'm going to do is pop up a really quick link for you. This is hosted by Luria Petrucci and the Live Streaming Pros group. So it's not me, I'm not even speaking, but I am definitely attending all 3 days. And I highly encourage you, if you want to use more video, to look into this. That's one thing I wanted to mention. I also, let me try to drag this over here a little bit so you can really see it. I also want to mention to you that the Let's Go Live challenge, the registration for Let's Go Live opens next week. So if you don't know what that is, Let's Go Live is my very own challenge that I've been delivering for about now going on almost 3 years, where we work with you in a 5-day incubator, if you will. I work with you personally, and this time I'm going to be doing it every single day of the 5 days live, where we're going to be talking through different parts of a 5-step process to simplifying how you do streaming. So, how you get on camera and do video live and interact just like we're doing right now. I'm really, really excited about this. Now, the registration does not open until Monday the 10th, but I'm giving you a heads up because I'm only going to take a short or a small number of folks into this incubator. And the reason for that is because I really do want to spend personal time with you inside the group, inside the private members area, working on these 5 steps. And price is not going to be an obstacle. So I'm going to just make sure that you know that. If you're interested, go check it out and then come back on Monday when we open up registration and get your seat quickly. Because when we shut it down, we shut it down. It's only open Monday through Friday of next week to enroll. Okay, now that I've got those things out of the way, let's talk about the 3 myths. And if you do have questions, if there's anything you want me to answer, if you have comments on anything we're talking about, I definitely want you to pop that into the chat because I am paying attention. I'm watching for your comments. And also, I want to make sure that I gather your questions so that I can help you to really get clarity around this topic. So, just to recap for those of you who are just joining, we're going to talk tonight about 3 myths relative to live stream audience engagement. So, when we're talking about live stream engagement, why is that important? First of all, it's important because you want to make sure that you are using live stream to the fullest. And as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a consultant, as a course creator, if you are someone who is leveraging video to build your business and to get more clients, which I hear from a lot of people that you want to use this as a vehicle to help you to grow your business. If that is the case, then a big part of creating a client relationship, a trust relationship, is that you are interacting and engaging with people and allowing them to get to know you and trust you and like you. And so engagement is one of those measures of that trust. When people come back, when people are talking, when people are chatting with you in the chat, when people are commenting, when they're liking your post, when they're sharing it, all of that is part of the engagement measurement, okay, or metric. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to give you some very specific things I want you to be thinking about as it relates to that when we get to myth number 3. But here's myth number 1. Myth number 1 is that when you do a live stream, you should just dive directly into your content and never acknowledge people directly because it's a waste of time. That is a myth, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first started doing this thing, when I first started streaming, I was watching other people's videos and I was trying to get a feel for, what should my style be? How should I operate? Do I need to do it like other people do it? And what I was noticing is I saw a lot of folks that were doing live. They would jump on camera and they would just dive right into their content. And while that might have played out well with the replays for those who don't like the fluff, if you will, what I was finding is I felt like it was very impersonal. Now, this was me as an audience member interpreting what I saw on camera. Okay. And because I felt that way, I made it my personal mission not to let other people who are watching my own videos feel that way about me. I never want you to feel as though this conversation that we're having on video is simply me talking to you as a number. I've never really been that concerned about, oh, I need to make sure I have 10,000 or 20,000 or a million followers. For me, it is about, do I have the attention of the people who need to hear my message? For me, the mantra is right message, right person, right time. And if I have those 3 things, then I know that I'm hitting the mark. Then I know that I'm serving, which is at the core of what I want to do in my own business. So I really kind of had to buck the system a little bit because I was hearing these things. I heard that myth, just like you're hearing from me right now, that you just need to dive right into your content and start talking about your content and don't acknowledge people. It didn't feel right to me. It felt to me as though there was an opportunity for me to really create a connection at the very beginning of my videos. And so I have made that personal decision to do that. And I think that it tends to work for my streams. Now, for you, you'll have to experiment because it depends on the topic that you're talking about. It depends on the people that you're engaging with. So who is your target market, if you will, and even the platform that you play in, right? Because there is a difference. There tends to be a difference. And there are situations where I've had people, for instance, on some of my YouTube videos, as well as on LinkedIn, where they're saying, you know what, I just really want you to just get into the content. You're talking too much. And at first I was a little offended and I felt like, well, okay, I guess I need to cut out the fluff. But in the end, I think you have to be personally aligned. So to your question, Michelle, I see your note. Michelle's asking, how do you make sure all of these things are in alignment? For me, I think that's a great question. And I'll answer just honestly and transparently, because I don't know any other way to answer, Michelle. For me, it's about ensuring that when you do something like video, whether you're doing a podcast, you're doing video, you're doing a blog that's written, whatever it is you do, you need to understand what your why is. And if your why can guide you in the decisions that you make, then that's alignment. For me, the why is that I want to ensure that others who are watching me recognize that there is another way that you can do video. Sure, you can do the videos where you certainly just dive right into your content and don't ever acknowledge anyone. But if that's not in alignment with your purpose of service, and for me, it's about being a servant leader. I want to not only say certain things about business and growth, I want to practice that. If I'm telling you that you can use video as a means to connect and to network and to build relationships and community and team and all of those things, then I want to model that through my behavior. And that includes having conversations with you, right, directly in the video. That's one of the reasons why I love live streaming versus pre-recorded. Now, if you're choosing to do more pre-recorded video, I can see how that might be a bit more published, more produced, and there's probably a lot less fluff, if you will. But if I'm really having a real-time engagement with you and I want to encourage you to come at the same time as I'm sitting here in this chair in real time, and we're going to have that conversation and discussion and build that heart to heart, connection, then I feel like I have to do that by having those conversations, even if it means that people who watch later may tune out. And I'm okay with that. Now, you have to make decisions for you and for your own business, but really it boils down to what's your why? What's at the core of why you're doing the videos, right? So I think that that's the best way I can answer that, Michelle. Um, so myth number one is that you need to dive directly into your content and don't acknowledge people. I think acknowledging people lets them know that I know you're here, that I see you. And I think right now, in this moment in time, people want to be seen. They need to be seen. They need to be heard. So that's my response to that. Myth number two is if you just ask a few questions, that's engagement. So if you get on your camera and you do your live stream and you ask a couple of questions and then you keep moving and you go into your content, that's engagement. I think that engagement can be more than that. I do think that it is wise, and I don't always do this, but I do think that it's wise that if you are creating video content and you're doing your live stream show flow, as I like to train my clients to do, if you're doing a script and you're writing out, here's how I want everything to flow, I think that it is wise to have engagement questions. So I'm going to ask you an engagement question right now. And my engagement question for you in this moment is, do you prefer, when you watch a live stream video, which do you prefer? Do you prefer one or do you prefer two? Number one is, do you prefer the person get right to the point and never acknowledge that you're there, but simply just dive into their own content so you can watch it and keep it moving? Or are you a number two person? Do you prefer to have conversation and to engage with people in their live streams and for them to acknowledge you and your presence in the audience? Which one are you? They're going to be probably 50-50 in this audience right now. So type in one if you're the person who really would prefer just get to the point and keep it moving. And type in two if you prefer to have some interaction with the person who's on live. All right. So Jay put engaged. So she's a number two. So if you're number one, you don't like engagement, you just want to get to the point. And if you're number two, Shannon says she's a number two, love engagement. Yeah. And so I know this about my audience, and it depends on the topic. Yes, I love it. So I'm putting this comment up here because I think that is absolutely relevant, Javaka. Yes, and it does depend on the topic in some cases, but most of the folks that are in my audience are twos, like Michelle and Jay and Shannon Martin. Yes, I love it. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful to see you, Entreneuse. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I love it. I love it. And she's glad to be catching a live. So look, I love that people are live and that they love to interact with me directly. So Michelle said number one is not a live stream, that's a webinar. So two, she's all in for the conversation. Yes. So all of these things can matter depending on your specific audience, and you just need to make some decisions about what you prefer. I'm seeing a lot of twos. So I'm seeing a lot of people that prefer the engagement. They want to know that we're here with each other, that we're not just like I'm not just talking at you, but I'm here with you having discussion. And you know what? The other thing that I found is, for my audience at least, that you have told me that you learn more when we're in conversation and discussion and we're having kind of the back and forth dialogue versus just being talked at. And that's important to me. So again, that goes back to the core and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you doing live streaming video? So depending on your reasons why, that will help you to determine your reasons why, your audience, your platform, all of those things go into play when you're making decisions about the type of engagement and what matters to you as far as how you engage with people. Okay. So myth number 3, I'm going to dive into that. And I love that I'm getting these engaging comments right now. I love it. I feed off of that. So just know that makes my heart swell. Number 3, this is the third myth. And this is where I'm going to give you some things I want you to write down on a notepad, because I want you to study these things for your own audience as you're creating your live streams. Number 3 is the only way to measure engagement is how much activity is in your chat. No, that's a myth. Yes, it's great to have engagement in chat. I love the comments. I love being able to see the comments and to interact with you. And it helps me to feed off of that, right? Yes, yes, yes. And I love this comment. I've got to put this up. The engagement keeps me staying put in the live, especially on YouTube, because there's a lot of videos. Yes, because you want to be able to stand out, right? So how do you stand out if you're just another talking head on video on YouTube? So I love all of the things that you've given me. You're giving me exactly what I was hoping you would share and affirm for me. And I love that you're putting those in the comments. So that myth number 3 is that the only way to measure engagement is through your chat. Now, no, although chat and this back and forth that we're having right now is definitely an important part of the measurement, and it can tell you a lot. So if you've been streaming for some time and you find that you have a quiet house, meaning that there's not a lot of conversation taking place, there's not a lot going on in the feed, there's not a lot of people that are attending, that can be an area of measurement for you. That can be a metric that may be important and relevant, because you then need to be thinking, why is it so quiet? And I've been doing this now for 3 months straight, every week, and nobody's showing up and no one's engaging in the comments. Why? What can I tweak? You need to be asking yourself, what can I do differently? Can I add and incorporate engagement questions in my show flow? Can I make sure that I'm adjusting my time, because maybe my timing is off? When I show up live may not be when my audience, my target audience, is available and ready to interact with me. If you're going live at 5 o'clock in the morning, but most of the folks that are in your specific market are not awake and ready to go at 5 in the morning, then that may be the wrong timing. So this idea of engagement in the chat as a possible metric can definitely be something for you to take a look at and measure whether or not there need to be tweaks and changes. But there are other things too. So I'm going to give you kind of a short list of these things, and I want you to just take note of this or come back and rewatch this part of the video. I'll try to make sure I put markers in here. Shares. So how many people are actually sharing your video? Even before I went live tonight, there were people that were sharing based on the topic. When I pre-scheduled this event and I said, I'm going to talk about this topic and here's what it's about and why it's relevant. Come and watch me on Thursday at 7 p.m., Central. there were people that were sharing in advance, and there will probably be some folks that will share this video afterwards. So sharing can be a way that tells you there's some engagement and that people are enjoying and appreciating what you're putting out there. Time spent on the stream. One of the things that I am monitoring and I'm looking at right now as I am paying attention to this video and as I'm delivering this message is I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking to see how many people are in the audience and how many people are dropping off. And are there certain places within the content that I'm sharing within the video where people are dropping? And not only can I look at that right now, but after the fact, after I get done with the video, I can go back and I can see where people were dropping off, where people were joining in. And that gives you some ideas about, okay, well, here's some things maybe I need to adjust. This is where I started losing more people. This is where I started getting attention and more engagement in the chat. So this is another metric, the idea of people who are spending time on your stream. How long are they staying? Are they jumping on for 3 seconds and then just dropping off and not staying? So I've had a pretty consistent flow of a certain number that I'm looking at right now that have stayed on. New versus returning viewers. Some of you may wonder, why is it that at the beginning of every show, I ask you, if you're new, type in hashtag newbie. And if you've been around for a while, type in hashtag OG. Part of that is because it also is another mental metric for me where I'm thinking, okay, do I have returning viewers? Am I talking to people who have been here before? Am I starting to get more new people who are getting eyes on my videos? I can kind of gauge that oftentimes when I ask that question. Now, it's not an exact science, but it gives me some ideas. And I can certainly see more exact figures when I take a look at my numbers afterwards. So sharing, time spent on the stream, new versus returning viewers. Here's a couple of other ones. Signups. If I'm doing a call to action anytime throughout my stream, anytime in the video, how many people are actually taking me up on that call to action and actually going to the site or the link that I shared, right? At the very beginning, I mentioned to you 2 different links. I mentioned to you the Expand Your Reach link, and I mentioned to you the Let's Go Live challenge, which opens up for enrollment next week. I'm going to pop that link up again here, probably towards the end. So one of the things I'm going to look at is after my video, did people actually, or even during my video, did people go and look at these links? These are things that you're thinking through and you're looking at as it relates to your stream that all are part of the engagement, right? Because if you're delivering information and content that is helping people to do well, to be better, to do better, right? If you're helping other people win, then you can win too. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Your videos have high quality replay value. That's how I watch your videos and why I share you with my colleagues. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And yes, so it you get more engagement when you can give content that is relevant to the people who are watching, right? That is key. That's something to pay attention to. And then also page views. So how many people are actually coming and watching your videos? How many people are going to your blog afterwards? How many people are checking you out and seeing what you're all about? Are they going and they're looking at your website? I kind of take a look at all of these different things after my videos, which is one of the reasons why I try to restrict myself. I don't say restrict, but I'll say one of the reasons why I'm very calculated in doing one video each week, because all of these things are things that I want to pay attention to about that singular video. And if I were delivering a video each and every single day, I honestly would probably need to have more team members to help me to dive into all that information for each video. And it's just something that I think about as it relates to how engaging the content is. So I hope these have given you some ideas for your own videos and for your own engagement. And if you're brand new and you're like, look, Tanya, that sounds great, but I'm on the very front end. Like I'm just now figuring my way into this whole live stream thing. I get it. I get it. This is one of the reasons why I am inviting people. Let me pop it up because I promised I would do that. This is one of the reasons why I am inviting you to join in on the Let's Go Live challenge when we open this up next week, because part of it's not going to be a deep dive, mind you, because this is a 5-day course and it's a really simple course, but I'm in it with you and I truly am interacting with you, right? It's not one where I'm going to be like, okay, go do these on-demand lessons and then I'll see you later. No, we're going to interact every day depending on your availability, but I'll be around and I'll be interacting. You'll have some on-demand lessons and you'll have me. But one of the reasons why I'm encouraging you, if you're just brand new and you're starting out and you're like, I need more people, I need to build a process, I need to do more streaming in a structured and intentional way. If that's something that you're trying to do, then I want to help you to get started doing that. Because one of my goals, my mission in 2022 is to help at least 50 women, coaches, consultants, and course creators to create your own live stream series or show. So part of my mission means that I have to help you to build that foundation and that structure first. So if you're listening in and you're like, I need the engagement, but first I just need to get myself on camera. If you need that help, then I'll be here for you. Okay. So make sure you go check out the Let's Go Live challenge. It is not open for registration until Monday, the 10th, and it closes on the 14th. But I just wanted to make sure to point that out. Um, I'm looking to see if there are any questions. If you have questions about engagement for your own streams, for your business, and even if it's not specific to video, but if you have a question about engaging your audience, and you want to pop that into the comments, feel free to do that and I'll see what I can do to help you. And if not, I will be coming back to look at comments later. So if you can't think of something now or you're watching the replay, just type in hashtag replay and I'll come back and make sure that I address your comment as best I can or point you to a resource if I don't know a specific answer. Okay. But I am scanning now to see if I see anything. All right. So far, I'm not seeing a question, but I hope that this has been helpful to you. Now, again, as with all of my videos, if there's something you missed, if there's a point you missed, I want you to just replay this thing. Go back, pick up on all 3 of the themes. I'll recap them for you right now. The myths that we talked about, and let me pop this up. I want to make sure I'm looking at chat. The myths that we talked about are: number 1, dive directly into your content and don't acknowledge people. No, I say no. I say I would prefer, and I would recommend you try it to see if it works for you. Try to acknowledge people and engage them and let them know that you see them. Number 2 was just ask a few questions, and that's the engagement. That's all the engagement you need. I think there's other ways for you to engage by being conversational. Definitely including some engagement questions that you have strategically placed could help you, but also be genuinely curious and interested in what your audience members have to say. And that's going to help you with the engagement process too. Engagement is much more than just asking some questions. It's about the whole experience that you're creating for your people who are viewing. And number 3 was the only way to measure engagement is by the activity that's in your chat. And I say no. I think that there are other ways that you can go about measuring engagement. And I gave you a short list of those things to kind of think about that would be part of your engagement metrics, right? Things that you commonly are going to be looking at and thinking about with your own videos. So I have had a beautiful time hanging out with you. It's been fun for me to see your comments and to interact a little bit with you. We are right at the top of our half hour and a little bit over, but I always appreciate the time that I get a chance to spend with you. I hope that I will see you in the Let's Go Live challenge. But if I don't, then I definitely will be back on next week for another live stream. Thank you so much for the hand claps. Thank you for participating and for being here no matter what platform you're on. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. We're at Stream Like a Boss TV. If you go to streamlikeaboss.tv, it'll take you to whatever social platform you prefer to watch. I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, I'm there. I also want to give a special shout out to those of you who are part of my Stream Like a Boss group on Facebook, as well as those who are in my Stream Like a Boss network and the Stream Bosses Academy ladies. Thank you so much for always being such a brilliant part of every month. I love our training sessions together. I'm looking forward to meeting with you next week where we're going to dive deeper into the engagement process, and I'm going to give you some other things to think about and to work on for your own live streams. All right, everyone, have an amazing rest of the week. And actually, it's almost weekend, so enjoy your weekend. Stay safe and sound. And as always, I will see you in the stream.